Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 4. Now, just quickly before we get into the rest of the video, as you would know, my channel art has been basically the same for quite an extended period of time. I actually can't remember the last time I updated it. So, if you are a designer, or I know someone that is a designer, please hit them up and tell them, I'm looking for some new channel art. The best place to hit me up is on Twitter, so send me a tweet just saying, yo, I'm a designer, or you can, send me a picture of what you've done and stuff like that, and I'll, need it. I sort of need some new channel art, need to update it, and of course I'll give you a channel a shout out, or your Twitter account a shout out, whatever form of social media you do use in regards to your design stuff, if that's the correct word to use. So yeah, just hit me up on Twitter mainly if you are a designer, stuff like that, because I am looking for some new channel art. And if you look at it at the moment, something similar to that, like Flash and Arrow orientated or Arrowverse orientated, just something along those lines. But you're the designer, I'm sure you know what will look good. Now, in Season 3 of The Flash, we did meet a few new characters, which is like the standard thing when it comes to a new season of the show. It's not like you're going to stick with the same bunch of characters for the whole season. You're at least going to meet one new character. So we did, of course, meet some new villains, which is, as I said, standard when it comes to a new season. So we met villains such as Shade, even though Shade was a bit of a disappointing villain introduction, seeing that the character is a bit more cooler in the comics, so his little stint on the show was a bit disappointing. We also met Magenta, which you could argue, was she really a villain? But I think when it comes down to it, she was a villain. And then, of course, we met the Rival, and we met some other villains as well, but these were the three ones I just wanted to mention, even though, the Rival, you could argue, was a bit disappointing in what he did, but we might see him later in the show's run, maybe a rival from a different Earth, who knows. And then, of course, we also met some friendly faces, such as Cecile, who was Joe's new girlfriend. A lot of people were getting confused. A lot of people thought her name was Lucille. It's Cecile. But yeah, I don't know if she'll appear in Season 4. I don't know what's going on there, because did they break up at the end of Season 3? I really can't remember. Of course, we met H.R. Wells, which meeting a new Harrison Wells is standard when it comes to a new season, as I went over in my video from the other day. And then we also met Julian Albert, even though that's a bit controversial because he technically was a villain as well in the form of Dr. Alchemy, but he was sort of being controlled by Savitar, so yeah, bit of a controversial one there, saying that he was a friendly face, but by the end of the season, he was a friendly face. But speaking of the end of the season, towards that end of the season, we met another friendly face in the form of Tracy Brand. Now, she was obviously brought in to help take down Savitar, or find a way to take down Savitar in the form of this Speed Force device, which was so eloquently named the Speed Force Bazooka by our old friend and rest in peace his soul, H.R. Wells. And of course, this was due to advice or, suggestions from the 2024 Barry Allen, after he was sort of convinced to help them out, because he was being a bit of a dick in that episode, wasn't he? Now, personally, I thought Tracy Brand gelled pretty well with the team, or Team Flash, might I say, and pretty quickly. I guess you could say that was thanks to H.R. Wells, because she wasn't initially going to join, if you remember, but H.R. Wells sort of coaxed her into joining Team Flash and helping, or at least assisting, in the takedown of Savitar. And I did think she added in a decent amount of humour. She was very much like H.R. Wells in the sense of the comedic aspect of the character, and I thought she was a good addition to the team. Now, when she was initially brought into the show, she was brought in as a recurring character, because I think when she was introduced, she didn't appear in every episode. I think there was one episode she didn't appear in, so technically she wasn't a main cast member from when she was signed on. She was a recurring character just for that end part of Season 3. And then there was some confusion going into Season 4, because she was going to be in Season 4, but there was confusion whether she was going to be a recurring character in Season 4 or a main cast member. So a main cast member means they're basically in every single episode. But she was confirmed when she'd signed on to Season 3 that she would be in Season 4. So they were just basically setting up the character, introducing her at the end of Season 3, and then when we go into Season 4, we're familiar with the character, and then they don't have to spend time sort of letting us get to know her. However, due to Julian Albert, or Tom Felton's character, not looking to be returning for Season 4, they haven't 100% said he's not going to be in Season 4. There's just been no confirmation that he's in Season 4. And also the non-appearance of Tracy Brand in the Season 4 trailer, or any set pictures, because they're up to episode 3 or 4 at the moment, and she hasn't been in any set pictures, or the actress hasn't been seen in Vancouver. Some people do believe that she won't be returning, so they've sort of axed her season 4 part. Like they thought, okay, in season 3 she fit into the show, but in season 4 we really don't know what we're going to do with the character. It might be just, you know, shoehorning her in if we decide to bring her back, which is what a lot of people believe with Julian Albert, because they actually didn't confirm that Tom Felton was going to be in season 4 at all. They just said, you know, Julian Albert's in season 3, he's going to be a main character in season 3, but we really don't know what we're doing with the character going forward. So there was no confirmation with Julian Albert that he would be in season 4, but with Tracy Brand, they did say she would be in season 4. So even though people believe she won't be returning, this isn't the case. Tracy Brand will be back, but not in the same way that she was in season 3. In season 3, as I've said, she basically was a Team Flash member. She was a latecomer to the season 3 Team Flash, but she was a part of them. Like, really, if Tracy didn't help build that Speed Force bazooka, if we're going to call it that, or the Speed Force device, certain things wouldn't have happened towards the end of the season, which would have stopped Savitar. Like, certain things had to happen to stop Savitar. And even though the Speed Force bazooka didn't work for what it was meant to do, it did play a role in helping take down Savitar. So Tracy Brand was still a big part of season 3. Now, Todd Helbing, who was a showrunner and an executive producer on the show, said that in season 4, she won't be a part of Team Flash. So she's not, like, Tracy Brand no longer a member of Team Flash. She doesn't have a key card to Star Labs anymore, or you wouldn't think at least. So she's not an official member of Team Flash anymore. But she will be appearing on the show, but they just haven't really clarified when. And I think in episode, like the first episode or 2, they are going to sort of say, okay, where these characters went, like with Julian Albert, with Tracy Brand, possibly with even like Jesse Quick and stuff like that. But we just won't actually like physically see them on screen and then walking away or jumping on a bus or speeding away into the multiverse and stuff like that. We won't actually see that. It'll just be like a verbal sort of narration, probably, most likely from Iris West, if they're going to choose one of the characters saying what happened to all these other characters that are no longer in the show. But as I said, she's not a member of Team Flash, so why isn't she on Team Flash anymore? Like, she seemed to gel well, as I did say before. Well, there is a couple of options. I think the main one would be that she's dealing with HR's death. Like, really, out of the people on the show, even though Tracy was a latecomer, HR's death probably affected her the most because they gelled pretty well together pretty quickly. So I think HR's death would have a massive, massive effect on Tracy. So she might have gone off, maybe gone to another city, or maybe she's even gone into like the multiverse or something. Maybe she went to Earth 2 to help with Harry or something, because obviously towards the end of the season, Harry sort of did help Tracy calm down from HR's death, but obviously it was still affecting her. Another option is that maybe she wasn't needed on the team due to Caitlin being back, so maybe Tracy might have stayed on Team Flash, helped them deal with maybe Barry's disappearance for a bit, but then went off, and that's when Caitlin possibly came back, and you know, that's how they could explain it on the show. But in reality, when we end up in like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, it would have been annoying. Not necessarily annoying actually, but it just would have been too many people there if Caitlin and Tracy were there, because if you remember, Tracy was brought in when Caitlin had gone Killer Frost. Like when Caitlin had quote unquote gone evil, that's when Tracy came in the show. So she sort of like filled Caitlin's position on Team Flash. So if Caitlin's back, you've basically got two of the similar characters, if that makes sense. So I think that's why they needed Tracy to go away and not be a part of Team Flash, because Caitlin was back. And if she did go away, it wouldn't surprise me, maybe she went back to university. Remember when we first met her, she was, you know, finishing up her, was it a PhD? I think it was. I don't think it was her master's, or is that the same thing in America? I don't know. Her PhD, and so she might have gone back to university and tried to finish that. Who knows? But as I sort of hinted at before, it does sound like they're just trying to keep Team Flash not necessarily as small as they can, but just not have it extremely crowded. Like really, if they wanted to keep it as small as possible, it would be what, Cisco, Caitlin, and Barry, and then I guess a Harrison Wells, like Iris and Joe. Probably wouldn't have to be there. Oh, I guess you got Wally as well, but you know, if they really wanted to keep it as small as possible, they wouldn't have introduced Wally. They wouldn't have had Iris and Joe be a part of it. They really would have just kept Caitlin, Cisco, Barry, and then, as I said, a Harrison Wells as Team Flash if they did want to keep it as small as possible. But it just does seem like they're just trying to keep it not as crowded, because in season 3, yeah, Team Flash was pretty damn crowded, especially when you brought in people from other Earths as well. So that's what it just seems like they're trying to do, which I think is the smart option, just because you don't have to deal with as many characters, and it can just make the story move along more cleaner, if that makes sense. So that's what it seems like they're doing. But if you did like Tracy Brand, don't worry, she is going to be in season 4, just not going to be either in the same capacity that we saw towards the end of season 3, and not in the same way. Like, she's not going to be on Team Flash. She's going to be doing something else. It's going to be very interesting to see what that something else is. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But thanks for watching, guys. As I said, if you do know any channel art designers and stuff like that, please hit them up. Or if you are one, hit me up as well. If you did enjoy the video, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like on it just to show your support for the channel. Let me know in the comments section down below, what do you think of all of this? Where do you think Tracy's gone now that she's no longer a part of Team Flash? Maybe she might be coerced by the Thinker, or be controlled by him, and she'll help him design some things with the help of the Mechanic. That'll be pretty interesting. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.